All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a law of power that's, well, it's pretty unsettling. It basically takes everything we think we know about friendship and trust and flips it completely on its head. The core idea? In the race for power, the people you're closest to might just be your biggest weakness.
And here it is, law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends, learn how to use enemies. Wow, I mean, that's blunt, right? It's cynical for sure, but it makes you wonder, when push comes to shove and power is on the line, what's a friendship really worth? To get why this logic is so brutal, we have to look at a story where friendship didn't just go sour, it turned deadly.
So, to really see how this plays out, we're heading way back to the Byzantine Empire. This is a classic cautionary tale about an emperor whose best friend became his worst nightmare.
Okay, picture this. The year is 866. We're in the Byzantine court, which, you gotta understand, was basically the definition of a snake pit. All intrigue, backstabbing, shifting loyalties, you get the idea.
So you have the Emperor Michael III, and he feels like the walls are closing in. He's surrounded by people scheming against him. In a world where everyone's playing an angle, all he wants is someone he can actually, truly trust. You know? A real friend.
And who does he turn to? His best friend, Basilius. Now, this wasn't some noble. Basilius was a former stable hand, a guy Michael literally picked out of nowhere and elevated. He gave him everything: money, power, titles. He even made him co-emperor. He thought, hey, this is my guy. Our history, our bond, that's got to count for something. That guarantees his loyalty.
Yeah, that belief cost him his life. The second Basilius got a real taste of that top-tier power, all that gratitude, gone? Just vanished. Suddenly, Michael wasn't his friend and benefactor anymore. He was just an obstacle. So he had Michael assassinated and took the throne for himself. The friend he trusted with his life became the man who ended it. So you have to ask, what on earth went so wrong here?
See, this isn't just some one-off story from the history books. It actually points to a predictable and kind of scary pattern. It's about a fundamental glitch in our psychology that pops up anytime you mix power and friendship. It all comes down to what you could call the friendship illusion. You think you know your friends inside and out, right? But do you really? So much of friendship is built on not saying everything. You hide the little envious thoughts, you bite your tongue on a harsh opinion, you laugh at the bad jokes. It's how we keep things smooth. But when you introduce power into that equation, that lack of brutal honesty becomes a massive liability. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this breakdown. On one side, you've got what friendship gives you: comfort, support, familiarity. But when you pour power into that mix, it's like a chemical reaction. That comfort reveals hidden envy. That support can curdle into resentment. Why? Because when a powerful friend does you a favor, it doesn't always feel like a gift. It can feel like a reminder that you needed their help, that you couldn't do it alone.
So these are the seeds of betrayal, right here. The second you hire a friend, you plant them. The whole dynamic shifts. It's not a business arrangement, it's a favor. And that creates this weird, unspoken imbalance. You're not equals anymore. And that constant feeling of owing someone, of being the charity case, well, that can become a heavy burden. A burden they might do anything to get rid of.
All right, so if hiring friends is a minefield, what's the move? And this is where the law takes a really counterintuitive turn. The solution it suggests is to use your enemies.
I know, it sounds crazy, but think about it. The logic is ice cold, but it makes a certain kind of sense. A former enemy who comes to work for you has zero illusions. They know this isn't about friendship. It's a deal. Their loyalty isn't based on some fuzzy feeling. It's based on pure self-interest. They're grateful. They're eager to prove you right for hiring them, and they know you've got your eye on them. Their success is now tied directly to yours.
And there's a great example of this. The famous politician Talleyrand, when he decided to conspire against Napoleon, who did he pick for his partner in crime? Not a trusted friend. Nope. He went straight to his biggest, most hated enemy, Joseph Fouché. Why? Because he knew Fouché wouldn't get emotional. Their alliance wasn't built on trust. It was built on something much stronger, a shared goal. Both of them believed Napoleon was bad for business, and that mutual self-interest was an unbreakable bond.
And this idea has been around forever. I mean, look at Plutarch, writing almost 2,000 years ago. He got it. Your enemies, they're not going to blow smoke, they won't flatter you. Their criticism, whether you like it or not, keeps you on your toes. It forces you to see your own weaknesses in a way that your friends, who are trying to be nice, just can't.
You even see this in more recent history. Mao Zedong was a master at this. He intentionally used his rivals to define his own cause.
He knew that there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that brings people together like a common enemy. It gives everyone a single, clear focus.
And this quote from Baltasar Gracian just nails it. A fool surrounds himself with friends who tell him what he wants to hear. A wise person, they actually profit from their enemies. Their enemies are the whetstone that keeps them sharp. They force you to be better, to be smarter, to be more prepared.
But okay, there's one last, pretty dark twist to this law. It turns out there is a time when having a friend in a position of power is useful. And it's not for the reason you think. It's not about their loyalty to you. It's about their trust in you. It's called the scapegoat strategy, and it is absolutely ruthless. The idea is that your friend becomes a human shield. When something goes wrong, you pin it on them. And the genius of it, in a twisted way, is that no one believes you'd betray a close friend. So, they must actually be guilty.
So here's the playbook. Step 1. A big mistake happens and it's going to tarnish your reputation. Step 2. You publicly shift the blame to your close friend, your favorite. Step 3. The public thinks, wow, there's no way they'd throw their own friend under the bus, so the friend must have done it. And step 4. You've lost a friend, sure, but you've saved your skin. And according to this law, you've just gotten rid of a liability.
Which brings us to the final question. And it's one you kind of have to sit with. Think about it. With a friend, you just assume their loyalty. You don't really question it. But a rival, you watch their every move. You're always on guard. So who is actually making you stronger and more accountable? The friend you trust without question, or the rival you watch like a hawk? The answer, I think, is just as uncomfortable as the law itself.